Hello, hello. How is everybody doing tonight? Sorry I'm a few minutes late. My cat, as I was about to come down here, knocked over my mug full of hot tea and broke it. And it got all over the kitchen. And I apologize, but I had to clean it up. And you guys might notice that I sound a little rough tonight. And that's just kind of the way things go, I guess, after a big convention. Came home not feeling so great. And trying to, I said I was going to stream yesterday, and it didn't happen just because I was just destroyed. Like, I was completely wiped out. And I knew that, I'd said that I was going to stream, so I didn't want to let you guys down. But feeling kind of crappy tonight. Maybe you guys can tell by my voice. Yes, Rodimus, the con crud. It is definitely possible. But last week was just crazy, and I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to hang out with you guys, see what you guys thought of the coverage. If there's anything that I should have changed or done differently, done better, or something you specifically liked that maybe I could replicate in the future. Also, maybe even talk about like my favorite stuff, or stuff that you guys saw in my content that you wanted to talk about, or if you had any questions, And also, I wanted to give some stuff away, and we're gonna run the giveaway the same way that we did last live stream, where I'm gonna post a Gleam link in the chat, and then you guys, the only way to get that link is by being here. So the giveaway will be open. You know what? Actually, I might post it in the video description, but the giveaway is only going to be live until midnight tonight. So basically, if you're in the chat now, or if you see this video like real quick afterwards, then you'll be able to enter. But other than that, that's really the only way. So let me take a sip of tea, and then I'm going to get to seeing who's in here and seeing what kind of comments we got. Honey lemon tea makes you feel better like 50% of the time. All right. So let me scroll up a little bit here. All right, so we got, let's see, Rodimus, Blue the Fox, Ready Player One. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming in. Cody Sanders, Charles Phillips. Hey, Brian. Hey, Charles. Alex, Esteban Gamer, Krill, Gulliver. I'm sorry, Gulvin. I don't know, a bunch of people coming in now. But yeah, let me see what you guys first maybe want to talk about, and then I'm just going to run a few things down, and feel free to ask me some questions along the way, I guess. I'm going to get to the giveaway in maybe like 10-15 minutes once like more people get in here. Just because it would kind of be maybe unfair otherwise, I don't know. All right. So Blue the Fox says, "You look like you feel a little rough." I feel like I feel a little rough. I've been trying to kick it all day, and it's just been kind of getting worse. I'm trying to be peppy for you guys. So, but this whole day I was just kind of moping around my house. Like, I couldn't get off the couch till like noon. But yeah, hopefully this goes away soon. Okay. Gullivan says, "Was there really no home run cases this year?" Well, no, there were plenty of really good cases actually that I saw, and it's one of the things that I wanted to talk about, like my favorite things of CES. But there were definitely some really good ones, like the PC011 Air. The Air was my favorite, but the Dynamic also, it's the same chassis. The Corsair Obsidian 500D was really sweet looking. And what else did I have? What else did I really like? Oh, the Cooler Master, the new Cooler Master, the H500M that I couldn't get shots of. So let me tell you that story real quick. I don't know how many of you guys watched my Cooler Master video, but so I was in there, chatting with you know, some friends that I have that work there, and while we were chatting, I was shooting some B-roll of the demo of their Master Plus software, which included the H500M. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna come back later. I'm gonna shoot some more B-roll and talk about this case because the case was really sweet. And then as I'm like and their space was really big, so as I'm like going around, I went to like peripherals, and then I went to coolers and cases, and then I was gonna loop back around. And as I was in the cases section filming, something happened where they knocked off one of the side panels, hit the ground, shattered everywhere. They shut down the entire section because I guess they didn't want people stepping on glass. But they shut off all the lighting. They wouldn't let anybody near the case. And I had another appointment that I had to go to. They were cleaning it up. It took them quite a long time. They weren't even done by the time I had to leave. So it was unfortunate that I wasn't able to get more footage of that case. But the H500M looked really good from what I saw of it. Cody says, coverage was pretty good. I really enjoyed the content that you put out. Well, that's good. It's good to hear. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You did a fantastic job of rolling videos out constantly. Yeah, that was something that that I really focused on. That I wanted to make sure that I took advantage of being there. Like, there are plenty of people who go there for the meetings. Like, you could go there and take meetings and not really pump out the content, just kind of go with the flow, maybe put out a few pieces here and there, and kind of focus more on the people-to-people relations that you're building with companies, which is actually really important. And of course, I try to do that too. But I mean, I'm there for you guys, so if I just it would almost seem selfish to me if I went there and didn't do my best to bring you guys the content. So that's what I did. I think today I put out my 12th or 13th CES video, and I still have 3 more in the can. So 3 more will be coming but probably this week. So this week will still be CES coverage. I still have Patriot, I still have Zotac, and I still have a video that I did compiling all like the best custom builds and case mods and stuff. So those 3 will be this week, and then next week we'll resume regular twice-a-week video schedule. So, you know, I know you guys maybe 2 full weeks of CES content is maybe a lot, but I mean, that's a lot of videos for me to produce in that time. So, you know, just trying to get them out there for you guys, and I hope they come out good. All right. I like the comments about the creepy robots. Yeah, there were a lot of creepy robots. Lots of robots this year. That was like the biggest thing, was like weirdo looking robots running around everywhere for different tasks, like robots built for, like, there were some really nice like human assist robots, like, were made to help people who are like bedridden or can't help themselves, and then there were just like weirdo butlers and ones that danced. So the robots everywhere. All right. Let me scroll down a bit. What time is it where you are? It is 8:30, 8:42 where I am. Gino Joe, great coverage of CES. Thank you very much, Gino or Joe or Gino Joe, whichever you go by. Love the CES coverage. Oh man, a lot of people apparently like the coverage. That's great. I'm glad. You know, I like I said, I was doing my best, kind of busting my butt, you know. So I'm glad everything came out good. I was hoping to see some news on that Predator X35 and or the Asus version of that. Yeah, it's not out yet. That's it. Like, they're having problems sourcing the panels, and that, you know, the manufacturer of the panels can't get the panels to Asus and Acer to make those monitors. So that's it. That's where the holdup is. And once those are available, then they should come to market. But there's no date right now. Trust me, I asked, and I said, you know, I asked off the record too, and if they had told me off the record, I would tell you that they told me a date, but I would not tell you the date. And I could tell you that they wouldn't even tell me off the record, so they don't even know. How did the NVIDIA TV look in person? Stunning. That thing is amazing. It was really hard to capture because the room itself was so dark, and I was shooting into the light source, which was the TV. So it was like, the pictures all look blown out. I was trying to get somebody I was trying to get somebody to like shine a light on the TV to brighten up the space so that I could film it and capture a little better. So I'm sorry if that footage didn't come out fantastic, but the NVIDIA TV is legit. But I can only imagine how much they're going to price that at. That has literally every feature you could ever want in a large form factor TV that you also use as a computer monitor. A 65-inch. How much would a 65-inch computer monitor cost? So start from there and then add things. I think that it's going to be pretty pricey. So why do you think GPU prices have decided to go bananas again? I mean, Ethereum spiked, so that's it. Like, you know, you could still mine Ether on GPUs, and prices went through. I didn't even notice this until like Friday. I've just been so occupied doing things that I couldn't even. I had no time to like look. Usually I browse and stuff. I just had no time to do it. And Friday I had like a couple hours of downtime, and I played some cards, which was nice. And I was just kind of browsing around and saw Keith from WCCF Tech mention something on Twitter about GPU prices. So I went and I looked. 1080 Ti's are like $1,100 now. So yeah, 1050 Ti's are like $300. And it's just from Ether, I guess. Was Fractal at CES this year? So Fractal wasn't exhibiting. Fractal hasn't exhibited at CES in a couple years. But I saw Josh 3 or 4 times. We hung out a bunch. We had breakfast. We did a breakfast meeting. We hung out at the parties and just kind of drank a lot. And I mean, Josh is an awesome guy. Josh and I were talking about doing some stuff, so you might just, you might see some stuff from me and Josh coming in the future. Fractal is awesome. Josh is a great guy, and we have a really good relationship. Although I do kind of bust his chops on Twitter sometimes. PCO 11 or define R6 for custom loop. Well, I don't know. I don't have. So I have an R6. It's right there, but it's still in the box. I mean, I took it out very briefly, but I haven't done anything with it. It's basically still in the box. And the PCO 11 I don't have yet. So I mean, I'm going to reserve judgment until I have significant exposure with both of those. What are your thoughts on Doritos? Am I supposed to have... Is that something that I'm supposed to have? A thought on Doritos? Doritos are delicious. What was your favorite MOBO for the AMD platform out of the B450 and X470? Well, there's only one. So it would be that one. That's the Gigabyte X470 Aorus Gaming 7 Wi-Fi is the one that I saw and played around with and talked to the reps about. It's in my video, but that's the only one that's been announced or shown right now. So it's that one. I really like that little Toshiba SSD. Yeah, I didn't get I saw that. I think it was a Paul's video, I think. But I didn't get a chance to get over to Toshiba, unfortunately. What was the most exciting thing you saw for regular users? I'm not sure what you mean by regular users. Maybe clarify regular users for me, and I will be able to answer that. Do the vendors let everyone to the suites? No. You can't. So in order to get into CES, you need to be industry. You need to be able to show that you are in some way related to the tech industry. And then you need a contact with the vendors to make an appointment. So it's not just anybody can come in. So James Chambers, I see your question about the Crucial MX300, and I'm not going to answer it right now. I'm trying to stick more to like CES kinds of questions as opposed to specific tech questions. But maybe we'll get into that a little later if we got time and I'm not deathly ill. So don't think I'm ignoring you. I see the question. Okay. I'm confused about the PCO11 side venting. Looks like you have to have intake from the bottom of the case. Well, yeah. So the whole bottom of the case is vented. It's designed to have fans down there. for intake. So that's how it is designed. The Air version of the PCO11 has an entire 360 or 3 times 120 fans mounting bracket on the front too. So that could intake air from any number of locations. Also, you have the mounting for fans and whatnot on the back wall, the motherboard tray. You could use that as intake if you want. That case has a lot of airflow. That's the least of my problems with that case. Was the NZXT motherboard as crappy made as it looked? No, it's actually really well made. So it's made by the OEM for the NZXT motherboard is not in NZXT. NZXT didn't physically produce that board, but they did design it. The company that produced it is called ECS, and they've been in the game for a long time. And NZXT had like the final say on all the design choices, all the little aesthetic pieces. I'm gonna have one. They're sending me one. They actually asked me if I wanted to take one home, and I couldn't because they only had black, and also I could not fit it in my bag, and I want the white one. But it'll be interesting to see how it performs. The value proposition on that board is strange. So it's a $300 motherboard. It's supposed to perform overclocking wise like a mid-tier board, and there's no mid-tier Z370 motherboards out there that are $300. That's an absurd price. The value add for that board comes in the fact that it has a built-in Hue Plus and built-in Grid Plus. So the Hue Plus is like $50, I guess, and so is the Grid Plus, and they're built into the board. So that's like $100 worth of add-ins. If you are in the NZXT ecosystem and you're looking to expand and stay with it, it's actually not a bad value, especially because you don't have to run a million cables and put in like extra, put in a Grid Plus, put in a Hue Plus into your case, try to find somewhere to fit them in. So it's interesting. I talked to NZXT about it. That they're very excited about it, and I'm curious to see how it ends up performing. So I will be testing it. It'll be here soon. But yeah, there's definitely some questions about the price. All right, so an article on TechCrunch talking about how CES has outgrown Vegas. I did see that also. And that it should move to a city that innovates. Do you think that it's accurate? So for those of you guys who may not have seen this, which is probably most of you, there was an article on TechCrunch that was saying that Vegas is not the city for CES anymore because it's not a city of innovation. Not that there's not cool stuff there, but like San Francisco is a city of innovation. Like all the hubs of all the tech companies are in San Francisco. Or, Dubai, which is just on the bleeding edge of like everything. And there's merit to that. Also, the fact that Las Vegas gets really overwhelmed during CES. It's like 120,000 attendees or something like that. And the public transit system, like the cabs, the cab line outside of the Venetian, which is attached to the Sands Expo Center, which is where there's a lot of vendors exhibiting. The cab line outside of the Venetian during CES is over an hour long. Uber, there's surge pricing on Uber. It's an odd kind of situation because Las Vegas is such a condensed city when it comes to where everybody wants to be. It's literally one block where everybody wants to be. So yeah, there's going to be congestion. I don't necessarily agree with moving it though. One, it's a destination city, so it's going to draw people. That's kind of like that's why so many conventions are in Las Vegas, because they could say there's an appeal to just going to Las Vegas and then also attending the conference. If you have it somewhere that's not as much of a desirable destination, you might not get as high of an attendance. So that's one thing. Also, like, I don't know, I haven't looked into it. I don't know, like, San Francisco was heavily discussed. I don't know if San Francisco is the right place for it either. San Francisco's public transit system is okay, but their city is a mess of hills, and like walking is not really a thing for, if you live in certain areas. And the city is much more spread out. I don't even know if they have a convention center. I mean, I'd have to look. They might. So, you know, there's definitely problems with every city has some problems. And, you know, CES has been in Las Vegas since the 70s. So it's kind of like, you know, do we move this whole thing just for the sake of trying to fix some problems that may or may not get fixed, or just keep it here where it's always been and kind of make sure that the audience still comes to the show? So, you know, I'm kind of in favor of leaving it in Vegas. I'm biased, maybe. I like Vegas, but I mean, if it was in San Francisco, I'd still go. I bet if it was moved to Dubai, you would not get nearly as high of attendance, even though I'd love to go there. All right. RGB was certainly well represented, and the Leanne Lee case was awesome. Yeah, there was RGB everywhere. I mean, that's like I've discussed previously. That's just not going away. Okay, here we have that question again. What was the most exciting thing you saw for average users reasonably priced? You're still not giving me any information. What do you average user of what? Like what am I using? Just anything with a reasonable price? That's way too broad of a question. Give me some use case. The best thing for the most exciting thing for this. I can tell you the most exciting things I saw in general, but I don't know if they're for like the average person. Hold on, I actually wrote them down. So the coolest things I saw were I put the ping pong robot, which I put in my video. That was awesome. I didn't have time to play, but I would have liked to. It was just, I don't know, it was really cool to watch. And the NVIDIA driverless car, I guess, I don't know if they're starting some, I didn't have time to stay and talk to them, but I don't know if they're starting some kind of a racing team or, you know, or what, but it was an autonomous race car. And that thing looked pretty sick. So, I mean, it looked like it was pretty fast. I don't know. It looked really neat. And then Samsung had a humongous TV. It was called, they called it the wall. It was literally like, you walk into the Samsung display, which is the biggest display at CES, Samsung every year. And they had a whole section dedicated to this TV. And it was inset into the wall. And it was said the wall on top of it. And it's 146 inches, and it was modular. So if you buy it, you could, I assume you could buy it in pieces and make it as big as you want. And it looked gorgeous from the distance that they had us stand. But you could definitely see that, you know, there's very, very faint lines where the modularity, the connections happen between the panels. But it was still really cool looking. So those are the coolest things. I don't know if any of those apply to regular people or not. Okay, so how many people are in here? Not a whole lot. We're going to wait till a half hour into the stream. So we're going to wait till like a little bit after 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. my time, and then I'm going to post the giveaway links. And I hope everybody doesn't bail after that. All right. Let me find where I was at. Do you have a favorite new case? Yeah, I talked about that already. The PCO11 Dynamic and Air, the Corsair Obsidian 500D, and the Coolmaster H500M were all really good. Did I like the new H500M compared to the H500P? Yeah, I mean, so I didn't have nearly as many problems with my sample, my review sample, as some specific other people did. However, I definitely can see where they were coming from with their commentary. And, you know, I mean, in just playing around with the case, like, it has some issues, but it was still really good. The H500M improves on it in, like, every way. Like, it's more solidly built, there's better airflow, there's more tempered glass if you're into that. There is room for 200mm fans on the top and on the front. They're introducing a 200mm radiator, like a 200mm AIO. So that was in that case that I didn't get a chance to film. But yeah, the H500M looks really sick, and I should have one of those, I hope, you know, whenever they're available. What did you think of the HyperX RGB SSD? I actually did not like it. I would have liked it if it didn't need an extra plug. There's too many wires as is. There's too many things that need connections now. Too many RGB headers, too many things that need additional power, too many little controller boxes I have to mount. I don't want to run another cable. I don't want to run a third cable from my 2.5-inch SSD. That's it. I don't like it. Ready Player One says, yes, there is a convention center in San Francisco. Sorry, if I'm behind the comments, I'm just trying to get to as many as I can. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I just didn't know. But yeah, the traffic has got to be out of control. Atlanta would be a decent place. Maybe. That city also has huge traffic issues in that it's not... I don't think of that city when I think of, you know, the cities that are innovative. Or innovative cities. I don't know. I'm not trying to insult Atlanta. With social media as big as it is nowadays, do they really need bigger crowds? No, they don't need bigger crowds, but they probably want to maintain the crowd. They actually have I think this might have been a smaller crowd this year, or right around the same size as last year. They really tightened down on the restrictions as far as who can get a badge. So they were trying to make it a little bit smaller of an event. They didn't want just anybody coming in. Like, I discussed this on Twitter. I couldn't get a media badge this year. In order to get a media badge, if your main outlet is YouTube, you need 1 million subscribers on YouTube, which is just bananas. So they're trying to make the crowds a little bit smaller and a little bit more focused, I think. But I don't think they want to drastically reduce the size. All right. Best huge case for the most outrageous water cooling. I guess the Thermaltake case, the View 91. It's just a giant tempered glass box. So you could do whatever you wanted in there. It was enormous. I covered it briefly. They told me they're not really selling it in retail channels. You probably will be able to find it, but it's not going to be mass marketed. It's a very niche product. Do you know if AMD plans to release some mid to lower tier versions of Vega for budget builders? They do not. We had a meeting. I had a meeting with AMD, and we discussed in a good amount of detail Vega. Basically talked about Vega for a half hour. The launch, the problems with the launch, the plans for the future. And right now, they're not announcing any other GPUs. They have no plans to launch anything according to AMD. So you got what's out there. I really like the giant Razer keyboard. I need one for my 3-year-old. Yeah, I need one for myself. I'd mount it on the wall. That thing was pretty cool. Did the Lian Li new Aurora fans look good to you? Do you mean the Bora fans? Yes, they looked really good. And they're made of aluminum. So they're light and they're really vibrant. Like the light just kind of bounces off the aluminum. And I like this. Like the silver frame is different. Most fans have, like, you know, the black frame or whatever. They look really neat. Even like their budget version of that fan, which is going to be $40 for a 3-pack, has an aluminum frame. So they look really good. Did Intel say much about the bugs? No, they did not. And my trip to Intel was not very productive. It was very frustrating, actually. I had some very specific questions for them. And the person who I wanted to meet with had gone home. Because I went there on Friday, and the hall was open from Tuesday to Friday. I guess she had just left. And then the person that I was directed to speak with about the NUC, which I know about the NUC, like that, you know, obviously the press release is out there, the information's out there, but I wanted to talk to somebody in person and have them like demo stuff for me. I talked to 3 different people over that was standing over by the NUC, and they couldn't give me any. Nobody knew anything. They were like, "Yeah, this is the NUC. It's got Vega inside." That was like the extent of the information they had. Anything else I asked them, they had no idea. So I was a little frustrated at the Intel booth, and I ended up just leaving. So I probably could have done more over there, but they kind of ticked me off. Best headphones or headset? So I should have got more into headphones, but I had 21 appointments. I just ran out of time. I would have loved to check out some headphones. I consider myself not an audiophile, but I am in that realm, in that category. I like audio. I have an affinity for high-end audio gear. I've reviewed audio products on the channel before, and I would love to try out some high-end stuff that was there. I just didn't have a chance to get over there. The best headset I saw was the new Cooler Master one. Their 800 series headset that has you could configurable open or closed back, like based on like a physical switch on the ear cup, which was pretty neat. Were any new CPU air coolers introduced that are worthwhile? Yes, the Dark Rock Pro 4, and then Cooler Master had a couple of them, the names of which I cannot remember because they're just a whole bunch of numbers and letters. But Dark Rock Pro 4 should be probably the best one that I saw. The Cooler Masters were good, but they were lower TDP. And the Dark Rock Pro 4 is always just like, the Dark Rock Pro series is always just like phenomenal performance. But there were a couple of them that looked pretty cool. But Dark Rock Pro 4 is probably the best air cooler that I saw. All right. Cooler Master really took that criticism to heart. So many cases competing for my cash. Yeah, they listen. So, I mean, just as here's a quick insight. So, my Cooler Master rep was very upset when that whole thing happened with the launch of the H500P, because they take it personally. They're out there to make a good product. They're putting out what they think is a good product, and unfortunately that one didn't go over that well. So they literally took months and reinvested time and effort to make a better product. Like, they listened to everything that everybody was saying. I mean, that is impressive. It was impressive how many changes they made in such a short period of time to correct problems that when they put the case out, I assume they didn't think were actual problems. Otherwise, they wouldn't have released it. So they did a good job. Any idea when you may get a hold of the O11 Air? So I should have an O11 Dynamic in March, and the O11 Air is the release date is later than that, is what I was told. So they have to fab the plastic panels, which I guess takes a little time. I don't know. But so this should be after March. April, I'm guessing. Who knows? Sometime after March. Chicago? Yeah, Chicago would be not a good place to have CES in January. That would be an awful, awful time. Someone said Seattle. Seattle's a great city. Seattle's pretty interesting. The Northwest is a great area. I don't know how it is in January, though. It might be pretty rainy. Okay, I'm curious if Fantex mentioned anything about refreshing any of their existing line. I didn't meet with Fantex. Sorry, I did not have time. What about the Thermaltake Pure Plus? Oh, so I don't know if they looked like this in my video. I forget if I put them in my video. If I put them in my video, I don't think they came out looking like they look in person. They look exactly like Corsair's ML 120 RGB fans. So if you've ever seen those in person or in a video, that's exactly what they look like. And they're budget, so they look nice. I just don't know how they perform. I didn't have a chance to actually test them. All right, it's 9:07, so I'm way behind on comments, but I want to tell you guys about the giveaway. So when you go to CES, people give you stuff. Like, the vendors are all, especially vendors you have relationships with, they give you goodie bags. And I don't need a lot of the stuff that I was given. So I want to give it to you guys, and I hope that is a good prize. I hope you guys like that. I'm not giving you everything that was given to me, but a good amount, and I want to show you them. So we'll run it down real quick. So it's going to be one prize for this giveaway. Sorry, but it is international, if that helps. The first thing is it's a Zotac bag. It's like a shopping bag. It looks like kind of, I don't know, waterproof or something, so you could use it as a shopping bag, I guess. Got a pair of Patriot Viper socks. Let's see. There's cool stuff in here, I promise. Thermaltake flash drive, which is like a bracelet, I guess. Got NZXT Grid Plus V3. Patriot Viper gaming notebook. This is the best thing in there. Check this out. Zotac zip up. So I would keep this because I think this is really cool looking, but it doesn't fit me. And this, so just be aware that they asked me what size I was, and I told them XL or XXL, and they're like, "It, by the way, it's like Asian sizing," and I'm like, "Okay, so definitely XXL." And this wouldn't fit me if I lost 50 pounds. So it's small for an XXL, but should fit any normal sized human, I guess. I don't know. It's not small, but it's definitely, it won't fit me. So you guys can have it. Couple other things. Master Mints. Cooler Master Mints. Patriot lanyard. And a Cooler Master flash drive. That's a keyboard. That when you uncap it, it becomes 10 keyless. I don't know. What do you guys think of that stuff? Is it good? I figure some of you guys might like that stuff. Hold on. I have to blow my nose. I am so sorry. I'm going to turn away. Okay. So we're back. So that's what I'm giving away. Let me post the link here. There you go. So that should be open. That should be open now. Let me know if it is or is not open. And then if it's not, I'll do something to fix it. But it should be open till midnight. All right. Okay, so I'm going to scroll back up and see if I could get to some of these questions. All right. Okay. Did you find time to hang out with any other tech tubers like Kyle, Paul, or Steve? Yeah, we actually all hung out quite a bit. I went to Kyle, Paul, myself, Kyle's wife Heather, and Kyle's he was an intern, now he's just a freelancer. Chris, his editor. We went to dinner one night. I saw Kyle again at the MSI party, which was like Thursday night. Saw Kyle and Steve and Luke and Brandon from Linus Tech Tips on Friday. So Greg from Salazar Studios a couple times. We hung out a little bit. I am 100% sure that I ran into a bunch of other people. Oh, I ran into Jay a couple times. We were hanging out at the Zotac party a little bit. Yeah, it's a good community. Everybody's very friendly. So, I mean, the people that I knew beforehand, like Kyle and Paul, we hung out like a good amount, and the others I just kind of saw briefly, chatted with, hung out with at a party or whatever. But everybody is like, everybody's down to help everybody. It's a good community. Okay, I'm waiting for the 35-inch 200 Hz HDR Asus coming out in December. I don't know where you got that date from. It's certainly, I mean, there's no date on it. It's just way delayed. It's indefinitely delayed until those panels come in. Okay. Joe Quater. Sorry. Considering going next year, do the computer vendors have displays on the show floor? Usually not. There's very few of them that do. Like Intel's on the show floor. This year, Inwin was on the show floor, which is, I mean, I guess traditionally they do that, but there's not. Everybody else is like in private suites in the hotels. Seems like a lot of case manufacturers are starting to put airflow a little higher on the list of priorities. Yes, absolutely they are, as they rightfully should. I think that they've listened to a lot of complaints, and they're making changes. Like Enermax's new case, Looks amazing, and they're shipping it with 2 different front panels. If you want it to look like it has that solid front panel, you could do that. Or if you want more airflow, they're sending the case with a mesh front panel. What a great idea. This seems to fix like everything, right? All right. How can this graphics card price madness be stopped? There's really no way. I mean, until yields catch up with demand. That's the only thing. I mean, there's not. What can you do? Raleigh would be a good place for CES. I don't think that that's a destination. I don't know if that's a big enough city. Maybe I don't know enough about Raleigh. It doesn't strike me as something that would be a great place for CES. Hey, I was wondering if you could tell me what the best mini PC, MSI PC is. The best like the best pre-built one? Oh, I don't know. I had a bunch of them in my video. They're all coming with like 8700Ks now. They're all really good. Like, just pick the one that fits your specs and budget that you want. You could get them configured however you want. Has Corsair said anything about when the Obsidian 500D will be available? No. Maybe? I don't remember. If they said it, it would be in my video. But I don't remember them having said anything about it. But like soon, it was a finished product. It's based on the 570X tooling, so they didn't really have to change much except for the exterior. So they should be final. It should be coming soon, I think. All right. All right, looks like the giveaway is working for everybody, right? I think so. I think so. Let me refresh this and see if we have some entries here. Yeah, we got some entries. Okay, good. The Thermaltake Chrome looking tubes look so cool. They do look pretty cool. I hope that they fix the issue with them dulling when they get stressed. So when they bend, the material actually stretches and dulls. So they're working on that. It'd be great to have that kind of look without having to mess with, you know, brass tubing, because brass tubing is a bear to work with. What's the best MSI PC for gaming fastness-wise? I think I just answered that. How is Jay in real life? He rubs me the wrong way in some of his videos. Jay's a great guy. Jay is like a rock star at these events. He's like, he walks into a room and people just swarm him. Like, for some reason, there are bigger YouTubers than him that do not get nearly the attention that he gets when he comes to these parties and these events. It's pretty interesting. It's I don't know. It's fun to watch almost. But Jay in real life, he speaks his mind, as I think that people should. And you know, maybe on Twitter he's a little outspoken. In like regular life, regular conversation, he's the most down to earth dude. He's a good guy. Okay. Has the ad problem continued with the CES videos? I had about, I say, half of my CES videos demonetized. For some reason, they must have been working real quick, because they were demonetized, and then every one of them that I requested a review of got remonetized within like 8 hours. So either they've stepped up their game. First of all, I don't like that they're demonetized to begin with, but at least they could speed the process up, right? So you know, maybe they stepped up their game or something, or maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't know what the reason was, but yes, about half my CES videos were demonetized at one point or another, but as of right now, everything is remonetized. So, good, I guess. All right. Thracazogs says, no questions, just a thank you for all the CES coverage. Good videos. You are welcome, sir. I'm glad you enjoyed them. I want RGB RAM, but it is like too expensive. Yeah, it is like too expensive. Okay. Glad they're making changes. I have the Fantex P400 and the airflow is so bad. I mean, so case makers are listening. They're, you know, it takes a little while. Some case makers are you know, they're further ahead than others, so they have to, like, you know, their next release is further down the line, and some can work real quickly. The bigger companies have the advantage that they could adjust things and make changes quicker. So yeah, the case companies are listening. Trust me, every company I talk to at CES made that a priority, that I know that they're listening. All right. Where am I here? I'm eager for Thermaltake to release those PETG kits for beginners. Yeah, they look pretty nice. The all-in-one kits. Yeah, they have everything you need, and you could get them at different levels, so different sizes and whatever else. So yeah, they look cool. Do you think we'll start seeing panels supporting 4K 120 with G-Sync or possibly FreeSync? Yeah, like the big format gaming display. Yeah, we're definitely. I mean, we saw them at the show. They'll be out. They're coming. Those are not. Those weren't concepts. Those are products. They're going to be in production by the end of the year. When people talking about the Mesh FIC, that is a really good case. David Tausch. Just started following, but enjoy your videos. What's going on with the 1080 Ti market? Are we about to see the 20 or 11 series in May? And you said, or are the miners effing us all? So I mean, whether or not we see consumer Volta has nothing to do with miners. I mean, that'll be released when NVIDIA is ready to release them. I assume that they will be released this spring at their GTC. But you know, there's no guarantees on that. Because at that point, Pascal will be 2 years old, so it's time, you know. So we might see it soon, but there's no guarantees. And I had a meeting with NVIDIA on Monday, and we talked about that. And there's no details that I can share. So there's no dates yet. What's your take on X299? I love X299. I have X299 right there. I hope the NVIDIA TVs are affordable. That you must be joking. Those TVs are going to be thousands of dollars, many thousands of dollars. Many thousands of dollars. All right. Are you going to buy that joystick camera? Do you mean the gimbal, the DJI gimbal? Yes, I will have it when it comes out. Absolutely. I think for next year's show, that would just, I bet like you're going to see all the tech YouTubers walking around with that DJI gimbal next year. That thing was awesome. What is your take on X299? I just answered that. I want to upgrade from X99. Well, why? So there's nothing. There is. You have to have a use case. If you just want to do it, then X99 is a perfectly serviceable platform and will be for years. But there are definitely, like, if you're going to upgrade, I mean, X299, you'd have to make it worth it. So you'd have to, if you have maybe the base model 6-core chip on X99, and you know you upgrade to a 10-core on X299, sure, that makes sense. But if you want to go from a 6-core to a 6-core, that doesn't make any sense. X99 is still perfectly fine. Is side vents the case trend this CES? Most cases had a side intake. I don't know if it's necessarily the trend, but there were a lot of cases that were trying to find ways to bring more air inside and reconfigure the interior layouts in order to make that happen, including cutting vents in the side panel, moving the power supply so that to accommodate for fans blowing out or sucking in through that side panel. So yeah, I mean, it's good. There's no reason to not utilize that space if it's there. There was a lot of nice stuff on CES, but was there anything that had the real wow factor? I only see up. So this year's CES was a little bit different. A little bit different than last year, because last year there was the KB Lake launch at CES, and all of those motherboards, every vendor had 5 to 10 motherboards on the Z270 chipset. And then you had all the Ryzen hype, and Ryzen launched in when, like May, I guess, or I'm sorry, March. So you had the debut of all the X370 boards, and so there was a lot of hype last year because of new products. This year, different. Excuse me. More iterative, more like, you know, subtle changes to things. There were definitely some new products, but it was not like last year. Last year there was a lot of wow factor, as you say, because there was so much new. This year was kind of like, that makes sense. That's a good upgrade, but it's not going to blow me away. There was some really cool things, like Gigabyte's X9 laptop it's like this SLI laptop was like a reasonable thickness, which was really cool to see. You know, but there wasn't a whole lot of new hardware. You know, it just wasn't here. That's not what CES was for this year. Mike Brooks says, best of luck on staying well now that you're back here in this Maryland weather. Yeah, struggling, man. I'm struggling. Remember to smile. Am I not smiling? I thought I smiled a decent amount. There's people talking back and forth. Okay, any news on Ryzen 2 XXX series, such as clock speeds? So I was in the... I didn't put out a video on AMD this year. Like I said, I had like a fairly extensive meeting with them. Half of it was for Ryzen 2 second gen, half of it was for Vega. So I have all this information, all this huge slide deck on all the Ryzen stuff that I have yet to go through and put out any information on. But clock speeds were a focus because now the process is smaller, 12 nanometers. So there's less space, basically. It's easier to it takes less power to communicate across a smaller process node. So it should run on less power and potentially clock higher. Their focus was on clock speed this time. So hopefully that means that we will see higher than 4 gigahertz. I asked them, one of the questions that I asked them was if they were at all disappointed that 4 gigahertz was like the ceiling for Ryzen, Ryzen chips. And they immediately said no. They were not disappointed. That was kind of the idea. However, this time around, they're aiming higher. So, that'll be good. Hopefully, maybe get up into the mid 4s or something. That would be really good. Imagine, imagine 1800X that could hit 4.5 gigahertz. That would be an awesome chip. When we see RAM prices go down, I can't answer that question. I do not know. You look tired. I am exhausted. Thanks for noticing, though. Frown harder. Am I really looking... Do I look miserable right now? I'm just a little under the weather. Any idea when Intel will make motherboards available for locked CPUs? Well, Intel's not making motherboards. Do you mean like the B series chipsets and the H series chipsets? I did ask about that. They are coming. There are some. So in some pre-builts, specifically from Asus, there are motherboards that they would not tell me the chipset of, but I was told they are locked, lower end Coffee Lake boards. So they exist. They're just not here yet. Do you do private consulting? Not really. I don't know what you'd want to consult with me on. Perhaps being a frowny face, apparently. Okay. What do you think of the news Samsung released about the HBM2 yields? I did not see that. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I should be more on top of things. I was a little distracted this past week. I'll have to look that up. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of go over just like my favorite things that I saw, or you know, just a couple of things from CES. But if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask while I'm here. It's 9:30, so I've been doing this for, I guess, almost an hour, and I really kind of need to call it a night and try to feel a little bit better. But I knew that I said I was going to stream, so I didn't want to let you guys down. So don't forget though that if you want the swag that I got, just make sure you're going here and entering the giveaway. All right. Okay, so I already talked about like the coolest stuff that I saw. The biggest surprises for me, I think, were so Razer Project Linda was really neat. I was not expecting that. Whether or not that becomes an actual thing, we'll see. Asus tried it with their Zen phone, I'm gonna say. They tried to make a phone power a laptop. I don't think it really went over that well, but Razer's looked better, and it was more practical because it like becomes the trackpad, and it looked pretty neat. I mean, it looked basically like the Razer phone was going into a Razer Blade laptop. It looked pretty neat. So we'll see if that is still, if that actually comes out or not. Also, the EVGA 2200 watt power supply that you can't even plug in like a regular outlet. That's craziness. I was not expecting that. And then the NVIDIA big format gaming display. I wasn't expecting that either. But those were all really cool to see. I have a couple other categories. So I have best components, and I was trying to think of like the components that I saw, and the only one that I saw was the X470 RS Gaming 7. So that gets the prize because that's really all that was there. There wasn't any new motherboards. The ASRock had their Micro ATX Threadripper board, which seems nuts to me, and I didn't get a chance to go see that. But I still think that the X470 board would get this award anyway. Best case, as we talked about, Lian Li PC011 Dynamic and Air, Cooler Master H500M, and the Corsair Obsidian 500D. Best peripheral that I saw was either the new wireless stuff from Corsair, the K63, and the Dark Core mouse with the Qi charging mouse pad. That whole ecosystem looks really neat, and I was testing out the feel of it while gaming. And I didn't notice any latency. I mean, I'm not a professional gamer, but it seemed like it was real snappy to me. 1 millisecond seems pretty good. So I think those are going to be really big winners for them, and they felt really good too. The only thing that the mouse was missing was like adjustable weighting, but I mean, that's an okay thing to leave out, I suppose. They looked really good to me. I think I look forward to trying them out. And then the Cooler Master 800 series, which isn't going to be out till later in the year. But all that stuff, like Cooler Master sent me, what's it called? I forget. They have like a new 700 series keyboard. It's like a Master Keys 7 something, and I don't like it. And I was playing around with their 800 series, and that feels real premium. Like the whole top of it is now going to be a brushed metal finish. There's the buttons are in the right place. They have configurable like rollers you could tie into different things, and then the mouse with like the side grip that has a D-pad on it. It's crazy stuff I'd never seen done before, but it looked really good, and I think those are going to be good products too. The best monitor I saw that I'm super excited for is that LG 34WK95U, which is their 5K ultra wide. Which is just 4K panel that's stretched basically, but nano IPS looks real sharp, good viewing angles. It's HDR. I can't wait to get my hands on that for video editing. I think that's going to be a real pleasure to work on. And then the best TV was that 65-inch OLED rollable TV by LG. Did you guys check that out? I didn't have any footage of that, but Linus did a video on it. I think it just rolls into a dock, and you could like move it up and down depending on like where you need it. That was awesome. That was the best TV, I think. And then the best laptops were the Gigabyte Aero 15X and the EVGA SC15. And the reason I say the SC15 is because that laptop, they would not let me play with. They were under strict orders, apparently, from Intel to not let anybody play with it because it has a processor in it. And a processor that has not yet been announced. So we can speculate that this is a mobile Coffee Lake chip. And EVGA's already got a product with it. So that's pretty cool. I think that was all that I had on my little notes. But I'm going to see if you guys said anything else, and then maybe I'll get out of here. Let's see. Do I think AMD is going to release a new mid-range GPU to replace the RX 580? No, they're not. They have no plans to do that. Daniel E says, good seeing you. You deserve more subs. Thank you. I hope I hope they come. Come, subscribers. I welcome you. James Chambers, hope you get better soon. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Me too. Let's see. Neil. Oh, Super Chat came in. $10 Canadian. I forgot to mention B300 series when I asked that question about Intel motherboards. Thanks for answering. Oh, hey, man. Yeah, I figured it out. But thanks for the $10. That's really appreciated. Bye-bye. Thanks for still streaming. You're welcome. I said I was gonna, so I didn't want to let you guys down. I'm quite sick and have a killer headache, so I'm gonna bounce. Yeah, I'm gonna do that very soon too. Have a great night, man. If the K63 was only RGB, oh, you don't have enough RGB in your life? A lot of people discussing RAM prices and whatnot. It's a problem. I mean, it's not going away anytime soon, unfortunately. Did Razer have a booth at CES? They did. I visited them. I saw a couple things. They were in. I put a brief shot of them in my my show floor video that I posted today. I played around with one of their giant keyboards. Good work on covering CES. Keep up the good work. I'm waiting for your review of Fractal Define R6. Yeah, that will be out on the 23rd. January 23rd. Sorry for the delay, but like I said, next week is finishing up CES stuff. Did someone talk about Ice Lake? No. Nobody's talking about Ice Lake yet. As someone with water cooling experience, what is your opinion on the Thermaltake AIOs this year? I don't think I saw any Thermaltake AIOs this year. Sorry, I don't recall seeing any of them. They didn't have anything new. They weren't showing anything new for AIOs. Stephen Wass found you through Kyle, or you mistyped there, but I assume you mean Kyle. Thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for following me. Can I talk about the Toshiba M.2? I can't. I did not see it, unfortunately. Go watch Paul's video. He has a good video on it. Mentioned you're an audiophile. No, I specifically said I'm not an audiophile because I don't like to be. Because you say that, people think you're kind of snobby about audio. I try to be knowledgeable and appreciative of high-end audio without considering myself an audiophile. But I just added the Sound Blaster X AE5 to my PC. I'm not familiar with that, but I assume you made a good purchase. Tough Enough says, Brian, we love you. I love you too. Tough Enough. Any thoughts on the MSI Tomahawk X299 motherboard? Not particularly. I mean, I don't know what you want to know. I haven't tested it, if that's what you mean. Do you have a water cooling brand you prefer for custom loops? For fittings, Bits Power for blocks, Heat Killer, or EK for radiators, Hardware Labs, or EK. I mean, there's a lot of good brands now. A lot of companies are like trying to fix their. A lot of companies came out with water cooling stuff when water cooling started getting big and made a lot of mistakes, and they're trying to correct that. So even like the lower end companies now are okay. So, but yeah, there's a lot of companies that are decent. EK, you can't go wrong with EK, Bits Power, and Heat Killer, I'd recommend. You look a little rough, bro. Thanks for all the coverage. Yeah, I do. I know. I look a little beat up right now. I mean, that's it. I think I'm gonna call it. I've hit the end of these comments. Here's the link to the giveaway. One more time. So if you guys want that bag of stuff that I showed off, I mean, I don't know if that kind of stuff appeals to you. If it was even, I don't even know if this is a good giveaway if people want it or not. But I figure like I don't necessarily need the stuff. Some of it's kind of cool, and I figure maybe you guys would want it. So, you know, there's the giveaway entry. Enter and good luck to everybody. That's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to really discuss. If there's any last minute questions, feel free to fire them off. But other than that, I think I'm gonna get out of here so that I can try to recover and feel a little bit better, and maybe we'll stream a little bit longer next time. I also promised my my European viewers that I'd stream a little bit earlier next time, because I know this is a little rough of a time for them to get in here, but this is the only time I could really do it today. Okay, looks like everybody's signing off. So that's it, guys. Thanks for coming in. I hope you guys enjoyed the CES coverage. It was a lot of work. There's still more. Like I said, there's still 3 more videos for CES coming next week. I'll probably publish one. I'll probably publish one tomorrow. I'll probably do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then next week back to two times a week. But yeah, thanks for sticking around and watching my CES coverage. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for coming to the stream and hanging out. And good luck on the giveaway. See you guys later.